Greetings, family. I hope all is well with you, all is well with me. I want to say thank you, first of all, to all of my new subscribers, but I want my older subscribers, the ones that I call family, to know that I do appreciate them as well. Coming in very quickly just to share some thoughts with you. First of all, if you don't know who I am, my name is Lesline. If you have a hard time pronouncing my name, you could just call me Miss L. In my last video, I spoke to you about the couch or the mat. And I wanted to bring that topic up because people getting therapy is something that's becoming very popular and new in the Black community. Before it was shamed upon. Now everyone seems to be like, I'm in therapy, or what do they say? I've been doing the work. I've been in therapy and I've done the work, which is great. Now, I'm curious to know, does the work in therapy allow you to get understanding for your past experiences while giving you the ability to handle your present experiences? Or is there an action and then a reaction, and then if it's negative, you go and you sit on a couch and you talk about it, and then you unpack it, and then you move on until something else happens? Or do you find yourself getting that one and done? Woohoo! I'm ready for whatever happens next. Or do you get your healing through being on the mat? And even still, it cannot be one and done. Once you get off the mat and you start to live your life again for those 1 hour to 1.5 hours where the world just stopped and you focused on breathing and trying to balance the body and going through all these contortions in order to find breath and opening of the body, and you go into your corpse pose and then you come out of it and you leave the room, those thought processes come back. And you still have to continue to deal with them. And so that in itself is ongoing. It's ongoing. But what's going to assist you with the transformation is by renewing your mind. So I talked before about too much transformation, all of this input that we're receiving, and sometimes the input is what causes us to react a certain way when we're put in a situation. And so downloading something new allows us to act differently. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, which means you have to unpack the old way of doing things and then reprogram, upload. So what are you uploading? The upload comes from the information that you receive into your spirit, into your thought process, which means you have to be concerned about what you listen to and concerned about what you see. These things are going to affect what comes out of your mouth. It's going to affect what comes out of your mouth. Because it says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. And so on my transformation journey, I'm trying to be very mindful of the things that are coming out of my mouth. And if they're things that don't uplift someone else or myself, my goal is to examine it, look at it for what it is, find out where the cause of those actions or words came from, deal with that situation, heal from that situation, and then move on. And opening myself up to more positivity. So, a friend of mine sent me music that I could listen to while sleeping. And whether it's the sound of the ocean, or rain, or a violin, or flute, or anything that causes the body to relax while sleeping, that's what I start listening to now, and it makes me feel better. The key is I need to listen to it more often, because sometimes it's the words, the words, the words, the words, the words, the words, and those words that are seeping into the brain, and it's staying there. And then those words, the words, the words, the words, those words are coming out of my mouth. But if I'm sitting still and I hear the birds sing and the rush of the ocean, and I watch the sunset and I hear music without words, the only thing that I take in is goodness. And so the only thing that will come out of my mouth is goodness. So whether you decide to get your healing on the couch or get your healing on the mat, remember to renew your mind. Now, I've always enjoyed reading books. I'm going to tell you something. This is so funny as I talk about the books that I enjoyed reading. I was an avid reader when I was younger. I was an introvert, and I found more fun in reading than being around a lot of people. And my favorite books were Harlequin romance novels. And in these books, I could transport myself in my mind to a different location, and it was always about um, a woman who was searching for something, who wasn't complete and whole until she found her man. But the man that she found was a bit rugged and hard around the edges, and maybe he wanted her but didn't share that he wanted her, and she wasn't quite sure what he had to do, and then there was some kind of a conflict and misunderstanding. But always in the end, they got together and they lived happily ever after. And I read those books. I read a book a day. And that is what I kept receiving into my spirit. And so when I got older, I think I was looking for that type of relationship and I could not find it. And then there was this other book that I read that wasn't quite Harlequin. It was more like Ghetto Love. It was called Black Girl Lost. It was about a young black woman who grew up in the hood, and she fell in love at an early age with a dude named Chink who was a drug dealer. Do you know where I'm going with this? This was stuff that was put into my spirit, and it kind of like normalized something that shouldn't be normal. And we struggle sometimes with trying to find real love because our thinking is skewed based on what we received. Now, maybe not in a book you saw this type of relationship, but you may have seen it in a movie, you may have seen it on TV, They now call it the ride or die chick. That's so popular. The ride or die. You got to get there and build him up and speak life into him. And nah, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And when you start to receive and see wholeness, you understand what it looks like, and then you can bring it into your life. Be ye whole by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Whether it's on the couch or on the mat, go and get your healing. Peace, love, namaste, and from the ancestors, Ashe.